She sat on the park bench every afternoon, her shoulders curled in, eyes always fixed on the ground. Her fingers nervously twisted the frayed end of her scarf, a habit she couldn't break. People passed her, couples laughed, children ran by, but she remained still, like a ghost drifting through a life she no longer trusted. Her name was Clara, and for the past 2 years, she had lived with a silence no one dared break. Not since the night everything she believed about love, safety, and trust shattered in a single moment. Clara had once been a cheerful, outgoing woman with a career in early childhood education. But after an abusive relationship with a man who had taken everything, her peace, her confidence, her ability to trust, she had fled from Vancouver to a quiet town outside Toronto, hoping she could disappear. The thought of being near another man terrified her. Even polite greetings from strangers at the grocery store made her skin crawl. She rented a small basement apartment behind an old bookstore. It was owned by an elderly woman, Martha, who rarely asked questions. Clara liked that. But what she didn't expect was that Martha's son, Liam, had recently moved back home after leaving his job as a firefighter due to an injury. He had taken over the bookstore's daily operations, and he noticed Clara right away. Liam wasn't loud or pushy. He had kind eyes and a calm voice that reminded Clara of the wind through the trees, gentle but always there. He saw her sitting in the park every day, sometimes with a book, sometimes with nothing at all, just watching life from a distance. He never approached her at first, just nodded respectfully when their paths crossed. No questions, no pressure. Weeks passed before Liam said more than, "Good afternoon." And even then, it was just, "That's a good book," pointing to the worn copy of Anne of Green Gables in her hands. Clara didn't reply. She just looked at him, eyes uncertain, and nodded. But that small moment felt like something. Liam kept showing up, not in ways that demanded her attention, but in the way that made her feel safe. He would leave a coffee cup on the park bench near her with a sticky note that said, "Hope your day's been kind to you." He once left a flower on top of her book. Never a word attached to it, just kindness without conditions. One cold morning, Clara found herself shivering more from emotion than weather. She hadn't slept. The memories had returned in full force, leaving her breathless and panicked. She sat down, hoping the air would calm her. That's when Liam sat beside her, but a few feet away, not too close. "I had nightmares too," he said softly. "After the fire. Couldn't sleep for months." Clara looked at him, surprised. He continued, "It takes time. But you're not broken. Just healing." That was the first time she spoke to him. Her voice cracked as she asked, "How did you stop being afraid?" Liam turned to her, eyes filled with something she hadn't seen in a long time, understanding. "I didn't stop being afraid. I just stopped letting the fear decide who I was going to be." Clara didn't know why those words made her cry, but they did. And Liam didn't say anything more. He simply sat with her until the wind grew colder and she finally whispered, "Thank you." From that day on, they spoke more often. Liam shared stories from the bookstore. Clara talked about the children she once taught. Slowly, her laughter returned, hesitant at first, like a bird unsure of its wings. Liam never asked about her past. He didn't need to. He was just there, present, gentle, and real. One day, Liam invited her into the bookstore. Clara hesitated at the door, her chest tight, hands cold. But he smiled softly and said, "No pressure, just coffee and books." She stepped inside. It smelled of old pages and cinnamon. Peaceful, safe. As weeks turned into months, Clara found herself volunteering at the store, helping children pick out books, smiling more, standing taller. She wasn't fully healed. She may never be. But she no longer flinched when a man spoke near her. She began to believe again that not all men were the same. That kindness existed. That love didn't have to hurt. One rainy afternoon, as they were closing up the shop, Liam turned to her and said, "You've changed the whole feel of this place, you know?" Clara smiled. Maybe it was always meant to feel like this. He looked at her, quiet for a moment. Then softly, "Whatever happened to you before, whoever made you feel unsafe, it wasn't your fault. And you never deserved that." Tears filled her eyes, but she didn't look away. "I know that now," she said, voice firm but gentle. "Because you showed me what respect really looks like." They stood in silence, not needing anything more. The moment was enough. Clara never imagined she'd trust a man again. But Liam wasn't just any man. He was the proof that some hearts are gentle, that not everyone wants to break you, and that healing can be found in the quiet patience of someone who simply stays. By the time the cherry blossoms returned in spring, Clara was no longer the woman who stared at the ground. She laughed, she read stories to children in the bookstore, and she walked beside Liam, not behind him, not afraid, but beside him, with strength she had rediscovered. She was still healing, but now she believed in love again, and in herself.